Ever get the feeling that some job titles, they're uh, deceptively simple,
Hmm.
like investment clerk?
Yeah,
Sounds pretty straightforward.
right.
But we're about to like dive in and figure out it's anything BUT straightforward. Today, our deep dive is all about the inner workings of this actually vital financial role. And we're using insights directly from RoleCatcher.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're right. Clerk doesn't really like fully capture it, you know?
Right.
We're talking about the people who are making sure everything is accurate, everything is efficient in this world where millions, even billions, are writing on just like tiny little details.
Okay, so no pressure then.
Right. Right.
But seriously, RoleCatcher's career guide really emphasizes that investment clerks are essentially the backbone of administration for all kinds of investments.
Hmm.
Stocks, bonds, you name it.
Yeah,
It's not just like, processing paperwork. They're part of this intricate system that keeps the entire financial world running.
precisely. And it's like, think of it like a complex machine, like a high-speed trading platform.
Yep.
Investment clerks, they're the ones making sure all the gears are greased, all the parts are in place, everything is running smoothly.
Mm.
Because if even one tiny component malfunctions.
Oh, chaos.
Yeah.
And RoleCatcher actually mentioned that a seemingly small error, like in a spreadsheet, could snowball into huge financial consequences.
Absolutely.
Pretty sobering thought.
It is. You know, when you're dealing with other people's money, that level of meticulousness, it's essential.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, there's also a very human element to the job that I think a lot of people might not expect.
That's true. The guide actually, it emphasizes client interaction as a key responsibility.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not just like scheduling appointments.
Right.
You're explaining these really complex financial concepts to people, and they have to understand it.
Yeah, imagine having to like explain to a client who's maybe a little bit anxious why their portfolio is not performing as well as they thought it would,
Right.
and reassuring them that, their long-term goals, everything's going to be fine.
Right.
You need empathy, patience, clear communication, and often under pressure.
It's like being a financial therapist almost, or something like that.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to not only be good with numbers, but also be a people person.
Absolutely.
This is where I was really surprised, though. The career guide actually predicts that this field is going to grow.
Yeah.
And not just a little bit, but a lot.
It's really interesting.
And it's all because more and more people need financial products and services.
I think as technology makes investing more accessible, you need more people who are skilled enough to manage that increased volume of transactions.
Yeah.
Ensure accuracy, handle client interactions.
It's like a ripple effect.
It is a ripple effect, exactly.
So this isn't like a dying field.
No.
This is something that's, potentially a great career path with room for advancement.
And that's where I think understanding the specifics of the role is so important.
Yeah.
Because let's say you're interested in, like, the trading side of things.
Okay.
Those are really fast-paced environments. So you need a very particular skill set.
Well, let's dive into those skills.
Yeah, let's do it.
RoleCatcher lists, the pros and cons of the career path, and it's really interesting.
Yeah.
On one hand, there's the potential to make a good amount of money
Of course.
and move up in your career.
Absolutely.
But RoleCatcher's also really upfront about the fact that there are downsides.
It's not all sunshine and roses.
Exactly.
You're potentially working long hours,
Mhm.
high stress. You constantly have to be accurate and efficient.
Yeah, it's that classic trade-off, right?
Exactly.
More rewards probably means more demands on you as a person.
You got it.
So it's less about finding the job with the big paycheck and more about what really fits your personality and your work style.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Would you thrive in a fast-paced environment?
Yeah.
Do you like detail-oriented work?
Do you like to be on your toes all the time? Yeah, these are the questions you have to ask yourself.
Because if you don't, you're going to be miserable.
Yeah,
So at the end of the day, it's about finding the right fit for you.
absolutely.
So speaking of fit, let's talk about what it actually takes to be successful as an investment clerk.
Mm.
Like, what skills do you need?
Okay.
RoleCatcher has these top 3 skills listed.
Mm.
Active listening, reading comprehension, and critical thinking.
Interesting.
And those aren't really the first things that come to mind when I think about finance.
It's funny because those, like, softer skills are so crucial for this job.
Right.
Think about it, those client interactions we were talking about.
Yeah.
Active listening is how you understand what your client's goals are, what their concerns are.
Right.
And then you layer on these complex investment documents, you need to be able to understand them.
Makes sense. So it's more than just like crunching numbers and stuff. You're really interpreting data and like making judgment calls.
Yeah, and critical thinking is at the core of all of that. You're connecting the dots, you're finding inconsistencies, you're making decisions based on the analysis that you're doing.
So you're really involved.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not just like, a robot just doing whatever.
Oh, no. It's very hands-on.
Now, you mentioned trading earlier.
Mm.
What would an investment clerk actually do in that kind of role?
So let's say a trade needs to be processed. An investment clerk's going to be making sure all the details are correct, that the timing is right, that it follows all the regulations. It's super detail-oriented, and it has major financial implications.
Yeah, it's like you're an air traffic controller, but for money.
Exactly.
And speaking of like navigating these systems, and we got to talk about technology, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
RoleCatcher talks about how it's changing things for job seekers.
Yeah.
But it's also changing how investment clerks do their jobs, right?
Hugely. And I mean, RoleCatcher itself is a perfect example.
Oh, that's true.
Using AI to, optimize your job search, analyze job descriptions, help you tailor your CV.
And you can't forget about the RoleCatcher.capture plugin.
Oh, I love that thing.
One click and you save a job listing. No more like bookmarking or whatever.
It's amazing. All about efficiency.
Totally. But technology is doing even more than just the job search stuff.
Right.
Investment clerks are using all this fancy software to manage data, track investments, create reports.
It's true. Yeah.
It's like having a digital assistant, but for your finance career.
Exactly.
And speaking of assistants, what about these AI-powered interview prep tools that RoleCatcher has? Those seem super helpful.
They're amazing. So imagine this. You get personalized feedback, right?
Okay.
On your interview, answers from an AI coach.
Oh, wow.
You can practice like all those tricky questions.
Like, tell me about a time you failed.
Exactly. And you
Oh.
just keep refining your answers till you nail them.
So you can go into an interview feeling way more prepared and confident.
Exactly. It's invaluable.
That's huge. So what are some of the questions that investment clerk candidates usually get? And how can RoleCatcher help them stand out when they're answering?
Okay. So you're going to get asked about your attention to detail,
Makes sense.
your ability to work under pressure,
Right.
how well you understand the financial markets.
Right.
And what RoleCatcher can do is help you craft these really compelling answers
Yeah.
that showcase your skills and experience in a way that employers are going to be impressed by.
So it's not just, having the skills, it's knowing how to talk about them.
You've got to be able to articulate it.
Yeah. But even with all the tech in the world, you still need like that human element.
Right. 100%. RoleCatcher gives you the tools, but you bring your personality, your passion, your drive.
That's what makes you stand out.
Exactly.
So it seems like the big takeaway here is, yeah, tech is super important, but it's really on you to learn, adapt, and connect with people. That's what's going to make you stand out in this field.
Yeah, you got it. That human element's still so key.
For sure. So we've talked a lot about getting the job and the skills you need, but
Right.
what about actually doing the job? You ace the interview, you use RoleCatcher, you're all prepped. What's a normal day actually like for an investment clerk?
Well, honestly, every day is different,
Okay.
but you can expect a mix of those routine tasks, and then some curveballs.
You see on your toes?
Right. 1 minute you're processing trades, the next you're reconciling accounts, then bam, got to answer client questions about their portfolio.
Sounds like you got to be able to switch gears fast. So it's fast-paced, but are there any perks? What's actually rewarding about this job?
A lot of investment clerks, they really love knowing that they're a part of helping people reach their financial goals.
Okay.
Like whether that's someone planning for retirement or saving for their kids' education, it's bigger than just you.
That's cool. It's easy to forget that part, when you're thinking about finance.
Totally. It's not just numbers, it's people's lives.
Exactly. And you're learning new stuff all the time, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Always. New financial products, market trends. You're constantly building your knowledge.
So it's a job that keeps your brain busy, too.
Definitely.
Well, we've covered a ton today. Everything from those hard skills to, being good with people, to how much this field could grow, to how demanding it can be.
And don't forget how RoleCatcher can help. The insights, the AI tools, it's a game changer for anyone thinking about this path.
Totally agree. It's like having your own personal career coach plus a digital assistant all in one. But like we've been saying, that tech is just a tool.
Right, you got to put in the work.
It's up to each person to make the most of it. We've given you a lot to think about today, but the big question is, after all this, what do you think about being an investment clerk?
Does it sound interesting? Do you want to learn more? Only you can answer that.
And hey, maybe this deep dive sparks some curiosity about other finance jobs out there. RoleCatcher covers all kinds of careers.
So many options, each with its own pros and cons, things to learn.
Exactly. So whether it's the trading floor or you're more into that strategy side of investments, there's a path for you.
There is.
The key is to stay curious. Do your research and never stop exploring. Who knows, your next deep dive might just lead you to your dream career.
Now that's something worth thinking about.